Welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. My guest, Kofi Bento, Yao Pong, and Koku Kwating, and Inusa Fuseni. Now, thank you very much for agreeing to the 30 minutes extension, which ends at 12:30. So, briefly, can we conclude on the SNIT matters? And
I've not spoken on it.
Let me conclude.
Can I just conclude on my?
And I don't want you to forget that we decided to put these two together because they look alike. You know, that's 72, right, 74.
You took 74.
Yes, and in addition to that, there are the new issues that have come up about SNIT investment and what should be done. Yes, so quickly.
So something, first of all, I would like, as a contributor, to have evidence of whether or not contributors' money running in excess of $70 million have actually been applied to pay for this software. Because I think that, in my own view, and applying my own conspiracy theory, I think that substantial part of this money had nothing to do with payment for the software. And I challenge those, and I'm entitled to it, to be given evidence that there are vouchers, there are documents emanating from SNIT itself, confirming that these monies have been paid. Otherwise, I have the right to hold that substantial part of this so-called money was rather misapplied, either by the government, with the connivance of the SNIT and the managers at the time.
Which money is this?
I'm talking about the software money.
Oh, sure.
I'm talking about the software money. Otherwise, I have the right to say that substantial part was not actually applied to pay for this, but it is being placed under a head of expenditure to justify misappropriation or misapplication.
Inflation of
okay, so quickly, can I still call him Dr. Faglo?
He's been sacked.
Is that?
He's been interdicted. Well, I hold the view that
he's been interdicted.
He's been interdicted.
He was interdicted, and then the board met and dismissed.
That's. Let me go into it. And
okay. If you don't mind, let him finish. I'll get Bentel, then I come to him. Because Bentel was not speaking about Bentel because Imani has been on SNIT case from whenever I became aware of SNIT.
From the one.
Yes.
Something. I think in respect of him, as I said, I mean, guided by the previous case of Ampon and Adimodum, public officers or civil servants, the law provides a procedure by which they can be dismissed. I am not very sure, and I've made the point before, that this board has the authority to do so.
What procedure
also,
is that? What procedure is that?
One, the head of civil service provides, there's an ad hoc committee.
Lawyer, you must consider his contract. You know what the contract says?
That is what I'm saying. That I'm saying that where he is a public servant, I have looked at the law.
Is he? He probably is not.
I'm saying that I have looked at the law, and in my view, he is not part of the governing body, or the trustees. If he is a public servant or a civil servant, then that procedure they adopted is wrong, and there's authority to that. Secondly, you go for a board meeting, and you take a decision that you have dismissed someone who is already on interdiction. One, have you complied with the rules of natural justice? You see, when you are trying to correct a wrong, you cannot apply a wrong procedure.
What's the meaning of that? Complied with natural justice.
Well, you give a person an opportunity, fair opportunity.
Do you know whether he was given or not?
We are told that they went for a board meeting.
They might have invited him to the board
meeting.
We
are told that I have also heard him, and he said he has denied that. We have all heard him.
His lawyers have actually written to say the process has been wrong.
That is the point we are making. The fact that the person, or not even the fact, the allegation that the person has engaged in a wrong should not entitle another person to apply.
This is what your audience, the Ghanaian people don't understand. That there is evidence to show. The university where he says he got his PhD,
there's no such evidence.
I'm saying where there is.
The question is
that this have been made available to these people to say that this man is not known to us, and all the things he's representing, it's fake. Why should you wait for taking him through a process to go to court?
I take it that this question, as you are saying, is representative of some Ghanaian citizen, not you.
Exactly.
Yes. First of all, I think sometimes we underestimate the Ghanaian people. Laws are made in the name of Ghanaian people. If we are not careful, when they determine that the person has committed an offense now, then they take upon themselves the right to also determine the punishment and how it should be exacted. That is where the wrongly Christian instant justice thing comes in. Let us not ever give anybody the opportunity to determine that somebody has committed a wrong and therefore should not go through a judicial process.
So briefly, you guys have been on Smith's case and you have actually have to go to court, and it does appear as if you are still suggesting that you still have to go back there and do Smith and the way it invests, and also the way the Dr. Afaglo has been dealt with.
So much things to say right now. You don't mind so much. I don't know where to start, but you know, SNIT is dysfunctional.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is dysfunctional.
Let me start,
and I'm saying it again, SNIT is dysfunctional. From the board all the way to the fake people with degrees. You see what he just said? If you catch somebody with fake
people with degrees.
Okay.
People with
alleged to have fake degrees.
Something. If you come to me and you tell me you are something you are not, you are fake.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going ahead. You see the board and what he just said. Even if you catch the person with those problems, it's a crime. Sack him and then follow up after that. Yeah. Now, why I'm saying it's dysfunction is that the board sits down for this to happen. Okay. They don't do a value for money audit on anything. This blows up in our faces. Okay, our president took $1 million plus pictures to fix the most important roof in this country and make me ashamed. And you let this happen and you sit there as a board. They are dysfunctional. They are dysfunctional. Yes, that was the purpose for renovation. So that's point number one. You see,
from SNIT.
No, not from Smith. The $1 million he's talking about.
Well, the Indians built it. They gave us $1 million.
Let's not go there. I'll just make an example to put it in perspective. These things, they kick me. Okay? So the board says there, let's all this happen. Then you come back and you create a situation where I'm not advising him, but if he goes to court, he win. Because of natural justice.
Oh, but why? When you are dismissing people, do you always need to go through natural justice?
But that's the thing. You see, he should have been just dismissed. The man is put on interdiction. That means you are going to give him a hearing. Yeah. Okay. Then you have a board meeting, and then you are supposed to. I am hoping that our information is incomplete and false or wrong, so that these things won't come up.
So you guys are lawyers. Let me ask this question.
You're taking my time.
Don't take his time. Don't take my time.
If it is presentation of false records, shouldn't the accused person be given to the police?
It's defrauding by false pretenses. You dismiss the person. Anytime somebody commits a crime, it's summary dismissal, and then you take him on later on.
So let me asking you, shouldn't he be given to the police? We know Iyoko is in there, so Iyoko is the police.
Hold on. Okay. This is corporate practice. If you run a company and somebody commits a crime in the company, steals, defrauds by false pretense, first thing, you dismiss him and hand him over to the police. Okay? You don't put him on an interdiction.
That's the question I asked. Dismissal is instant. You don't need to be.
That's all. You don't need to give a reason why
it has to be heard.
Okay, so I'm saying why the board is dysfunctional is that these are simple things you should have done. Now you're going to create another problem for SNIT. Okay?
And for us.
And for everybody.
Okay.
Now,
use our money to pay.
What you were saying was, and the important point is that
they should make a deal whether or not.
From over 10 years ago, we've been looking at SNIT. Okay? I don't have the time to go into all of that. Let me just give you the example of SNIT flats. SNIT flats are built at high cost. As we speak, they are given to people at pittance. And the people turn around and rent them out. Okay? SNIT's investments almost always don't make money. They almost always lose money. And these are pension funds. Go and check what happens to an average pension person. Let me just give you another perspective. Investment, as in pensions, what they do is the easiest. Your money comes by law. It comes every month in bulk. You sit down, people have to wait for 50 years before they take it back. If you go to any small bank today, you can take your statement 10 times a day. You can pay money 10 times a day. And at the end of the day, you take your statement, it will be accurate. The software they use is a small fraction of the amount of money we are talking about. So if even SNIT just invested in that simple software, they should be able to do what they are not being able to do after investing all these monies.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, yes. Speak briefly finally on this and let's move on.
Well, briefly, I mean, I agree entirely with Benton.
You do?
I agree with him.
Yes.
You know, possession of fake documents. It's a crime. It's not within the remit of EOCO.
Okay.
It's within the remit of the police. So why will they be saying that he's been interdicted? Why do you make a criminal judgment over a person when you are not a court of law? Why? I mean, we want and we are prone to tarnishing the reputations of persons who are more. Hand him over to the police for the police to prosecute him and convict him, and then you have basis to sack him. Simple. That's why he says he's dysfunctional. You know that.
Police might go through a prosecution of how many years, and then all that years you'll be drawing salary.
Oh, well,
Why?
That's a process.
at least half of it.
Why? That's the process. We elected onto ourselves.
Half of it, when you are on interdiction, there's a period, a time limit. You
Well,
can't take that forever.
So I don't think that you're advocating for instant justice.
Sorry, but for the sake
I
of
don't think that's what you're advocating for.
No,
The people don't understand you
for
guys.
the sake
Oh,
of the
they
people,
do. They
okay,
make the laws.
you made a point here that it has been determined by the institutions that his credentials are fake.
Yes.
That evidence is sufficient for his dismissal.
Dismissal.
Okay.
And
So,
handing over to the
for the sake
police.
of the public.
Okay, to the police for investigation.
Right.
And all this hula baloo about he attending schools which don't exist or taking would have stopped. You see, what I suspect these people are doing is that they want to sack him. Anyway, they wanted to sack him. They've gotten EOCO to give a report, and they've acted upon that report and sacked him. But you see, is that all? If you really believe that this man has defrauded the state by using fake certificate to draw money, hand him over to the police, and then we can know whether or not he's a fake person. 2, a PPA to probe Senate over 74
But
million.
quickly, from my experience in this country,
Yeah.
EOCO will deal with it briefly. They will hand over to CID eventually.
They shouldn't have got EUCO is what?
Okay, go ahead.
Economic and
Go
organized
ahead
crime.
with your next issue. Go ahead with your next issue.
The next issue is PPA to investigate the 72 million deal. Look, the software had many components, and it had a clause in the agreement that allowed for scope change and review. It had a component that allows for service provision. I mean, they said SALA, where
Service level agreement.
where those who will supply, if they, and in this case, the professional PBS won that one as well. And any time there was a review of the contract, just like what happened in the margins case, Atefa just said it, Professor Atefa, where there was reason to review the contract, it went back to the PPA for approval. And that is the law.
Minority leader says that, majority leader.
It says that we have not commented on this matter.
He says it is quite
Grossly as you are
quite
expected to.
curious
That we have
your
not commented
on other
silence is
matters.
deafening.
Well, we are a very responsible minority.
Yeah.
You are quick to organize.
No, we
press
are a very
conferences
responsible
over very
minority.
minor issues.
Look,
$72 million
wait.
of Ghanaian money.
We are a very responsible minority. We're not robots. We believe that if criminal investigations or investigations are being instituted into the conduct of certain public officials, let those investigations continue. What we normally do as minority is call for those investigations. In this case, the institution Somoto, by itself, decided to
He says
investigate.
Parliament will probe this. That's
Yes,
what
he says
said.
Parliament will probe. Well, so if it comes to Parliament, we will still contribute.
Okay, thank you.
But
Thank you
we
very much.
are not robots.
Thank you very
Honorable
much.
Chairman,
Okay.
we are not robots.
Thank you very much.
We have minds sitting on our heads.
In a minute, and do that strictly in a minute, quick. And then I'll give Koku Kwating the opportunity to deal with whether or not we actually have a deadline out of IMF. Right. Right. Honorable Minister of saying, maybe I should start with you.
Yes.
Because this minister's, Deputy Agric Minister's action was said to be insulting to people of Northern extraction. You heard it, and did you feel insulted? He said, among others, that Northerners are difficult people to deal with, and that sometimes too they lie. Why?
Yeah, I felt
Don't we lie about the place all the time?
No, we don't lie about the place.
Why are we so offended?
Well, first of all,
He apologized. He said he was
let
sorry.
me put it on record that Kwetu, I have met him, I dealt with him. Anytime I meet him, we speak Dagbani. He's a good man. I'm surprised and I was befuddled by the statement that he made. And so I'm taking the statement outside of Kwetu and looking at the statement as a statement that affected the people of Northern Extraction. I was pained by the statement. You can't call, I mean, you see, generalizations lead to stereotyping.
Yeah.
And stereotyping is discriminatory. You see? So people just see it on the face. All of us here have different minds. If we stereotype this, if we generalize our conduct today, we will stereotype.
Is it because it's a minister that is saying it, or that this
That
is
is
the first
why-
time you are hearing any such? Some of
That
us have
is why-
faced this personally.
That is why the minister ought
Personally.
not to have said,
Yes.
you see, the northern people of Northern Extraction, they contribute to the public purse. The public purse helped establish the ministry. Your appointment to the ministry gave you status on the platform. So at any point, and he said it, at any time at all, as a public officer, you must be humble in your pronouncements that you made, and you must respect the people who got you there.
Is it not strange to you that the chiefs also got up and they are all into
But
this?
how do you
and,
say-
and when northern people from the north were given the opportunity to manage something for their own benefit, you know, I'm
Yeah,
talking
so we
about
can-
SADA.
we can-
I'm talking about SADA,
Exactly.
and they just spoiled it.
We can-
They didn't
My
get
brother,
up
we can
against that.
criticize those people. I'm not pick those people.
Generalization.
Don't generalize it. Pick those people individually and criticize them. I agree with you.
Okay.
But don't generalize. Because you see, why was I pained? I know Kwetu. And he's a good man. So, and I meet him and we talk. I don't think that he will call me a liar. I don't think that he will call me a cheat. Because an extortionist is a cheat.
It's okay to call you a difficult person.
I don't think that you call me a difficult person. But to say that people of Northern region are difficult, they lie to take money from government, they extort, I'm inclusive. You see? So that's why I think that the
His
statement-
apology didn't mean anything to you.
It meant everything to me. I agreed. I said that. To be honest with you, I somehow departed from the minority position of calling for the Nana Akufo-Addo to sack him. I thought that Nana Akufo-Addo, and that's what I said earlier, should have made a statement. The president said,
Okay.
this doesn't represent the views of my government.
Okay, yes,
we
quickly.
condemn this.
Well,
this
I
statement."
share many of the sentiments Honorable Husseini has expressed. Kwetu is a personal friend. This is very painful.
He says he's lived with the north, with people of the north, and he understands them, he knows them.
The things I heard, they just don't represent him. And
Yes,
all
yes.
I can say is that.
So why couldn't they forgive him?
Well, he resigned. That's what I'm made to understand. I commend that decision to resign because this would have been a burden on the head of government. And if he considers that he does not want to be the one to bring this burden, and therefore he's resigning, I commend that decision. But I'm just sad because I know him. I know he's not like that.
Yes.
Well, let me say that
Yeah.
he's the MP of one of the constituencies to which I trace my lineage.
Oh, okay.
The Odan area. And so, having seen him one-on-one, because I didn't vote in his constituency,
Okay.
but I've known him to be somebody very quiet. He's one of the foremost experts in Agric. Agric mechanization and so on. So his own people.
I understand it's a big loss to the ministry and to
Oh
Ghana.
yeah, oh yes, indeed,
yeah,
indeed.
yeah.
But he has a huge cocoa farm, plantations, and so on, as I know. But I think the statement is outrageous, and it has received the appropriate response. He has also done what is right by resigning. I just hope that, you see, and people are complaining that similar things have been said in the past. No, there comes a time where we set standards and we comply with the standards. We cannot just reduce standards for convenience.
Okay.
So with this standard, we are all careful in making such statements, not only by proclaiming it, but even the conception of it in our minds. We have too many prejudices against our people in our minds.
Put it in your
The
mind.
prejudices
No, but
are
it's
there.
not the best. You
The
don't know when
prejudices
you
are
will be
there.
giving out.
It's not his resignation that will change it. The superiority complex of certain, ethnic, groupings
Even
and
within
against the other.
Some
Okay, yes, Kofi.
You know, it's sad. This is what I wrote. My notes. I'm just going to read.
All right.
I don't think he intended to be bigoted. I think in the spur of the moment and in the flow of language, he was careless. He should have been more circumspect as a politician.
Yeah.
But he fell to the dangers of wild generalization.
Yeah.
Now, we must all be aware of that.
Yes.
The resignation is proper, but it's a loss. if he's a good person. Let us make this rule apply
Yeah.
in other wrongful behavior,
Yes, yeah.
like corruption and other forms of malfeasance.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. But people say, example, Martin Amidi,
No, it's not-
he's difficult. Martin Amidi is difficult. So, what's it? Is he not from the north?
That's
all
that's
of
what
us
I'm
are
doing.
difficult. All of us are
And
difficult.
also, Manasseh Azura, when he's my client, you know, he's difficult. People try and say, oh, can you drop that story? Can you take this? And he says, hell no, we'll go ahead. That's difficult. So what's the big deal? Yes.
Loyalty.
Yes, IMF. The NDC says, here you are. Shame.
No, the view of the president, and it's a view all of us heading government economic management share, that we don't need the IMF to turn this economy around. After all, the IMF have been here 2 years and things have gotten worse. So we are clear. And when we made that suggestion to the IMF earlier on, that we did not intend to renew this IMF program when it closed in April 2018. We knew what we were saying, and when we told them, we're clear in our language. What was not anticipated was the response we got from the IMF.
But that was an error.
No. Why would it be an error?
He's got just like 30 seconds.
What we did not anticipate was the IMF, because it's never happened anywhere, the IMF's response that we think you have messed up this program in the last 2 years from 2015, and that if you do not make a commitment to renew, then we are ending the program today.
So you've been forced.
Essentially, then government...
Okay. We'll do this discussion later. But Kofi Bento, some 20 seconds. He says something off, and he doesn't want to say it now.
Here's the truth. We are still in the IMF program. What we are hearing is a politician trying to rationalize what they are saying and hedge against criticism because of the statements they made in the past.
Okay. My guest has been Kofi Bento. He's a lawyer and policy analyst. He's a vice president of Imani Africa. Yao Pong is a lawyer and also teaches the law at the Central University. The Honorable Inusa Fuseni is MP, Tamale Central, and ranking member, Legal, Constitutional, and Parliamentary Affairs. Also, the Honorable Kweku Kwating is MP for Obuasi West and Deputy Minister of Finance. I'm Samson Ladiayen, and my outfit, as always, is supplied by Latida. Have a good afternoon, and thank you very much for staying with us for this extended version.